and we're, and we're very privileged to work together with Rabbi Yeshua Wordy of the Crown Heights Young Entrepreneurs to help develop businesses based in Crown Heights. And for today's program, we have one of our own, born in Crown Heights and bred. I got it. Okay. Yeah, sorry, my mute button got stuck. Anyway, one of our own, born and bred in Crown Heights, Joe or Joseph Brikman, is here to join us to talk about AI. And it's obviously a very auspicious day, being that it's the new year of Hasidus. But it's also the new year for you guys to get really up to date with the latest technology. And remember that we need a lot of material in order to turn it into spiritual. So Joseph leads the modern day team, which is an elite South Florida real estate group. And he's in the top 3% of his brokerage and is part of the leadership on Real Broker Luxury Division. And they have 340 million transactions and 350 happy clients. That's a lot of people who are happy where they're living. He also does a lot in the nonprofit sector with Hungry No More, which is rescues food for the homeless. He's also a former sergeant in the IDF paratroopers, and he spent a month and a half over the last couple of years on the front lines helping out after the Hamas attack. So he obviously puts his body where his mouth is. And he is from the 20 Miami Realtors under 40, who has been recognized as such, and he coaches companies, over 100 companies, and he builds opportunities where other people don't look. He's a believer in hard work, but of course, the corollary of hard work is hashgacha pratis, is the God's hand, and he dedicates his life to leaving a lasting impact. And today, he's here to show us how to think big and make things happen in your business with artificial intelligence, AI. So, with that introduction, I'm going to turn you over to Joe Brikman. Thank you.
Rabbi, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. I appreciate the intro, and I'm really excited over here. I've never done a webinar in this type of format before, specifically to community development. So I'm actually really curious to find out from those of you who are here, if you can let me know where you're located and what business you're in. I'm just curious to see the scope and the reach of what we have here. Because what I did, obviously, I'm a real estate professional. I'm really good at what I do. But one of the things that I did today was I took all of the knowledge and I try to generalize it as best as possible, just so like that everybody here can walk away from something that they'll be able to implement into right away. So we have Amazon business, we have healthcare, Dallas, online courses. Okay, that's really cool. Nice. So we have a nice little mix of businesses, which I'm really excited to get into the nitty gritty. By the way, if you guys have any questions throughout the process, I will stop to answer questions, but at the same time, feel free to leave them in the chat. And every time I stop for questions, I will also check to make sure that everybody's getting the answers to their questions. I don't want anybody to get stuck. So who am I and why am I qualified to lead this class? Well, my name's Joe Brikman. I'm the modern day agent through my experience and the research that I've done in a book that I just released called Real Estate of the Future. I've really analyzed and actually applied AI, automation, and digital tools into my business to see how we buy, sell, and manage properties. This was a review that we did. In my company, we use different forms of automations and AI tools. I've been in business for just about half a decade. And in the sales that we've done, we have right now just about 1,500 clients that we're servicing on a monthly basis through our property management company. So using artificial intelligence and predictive AI modules to be able to communicate with that amount of people on a almost daily by daily basis is something that for me has really been astronomical to my business. So first and foremost, when it comes to artificial intelligence, most people today are largely familiar with ChatGPT. I believe that most people over the age of 40 use ChatGPT like Google. That's literally how most people use that app in today's day and age. So that being said, one thing that I want you to think about as we go through more and more in terms of applying the knowledge that you're picking up here into what you're going to be doing in your business with artificial intelligence is when people Google you, when those people who are over 40 that are using ChatGPT as their main form of knowledge or Googling, what is coming up about you and how are you being showcased to those people in your space, whether it's in manufacturing or online sales or business or even in real estate. When somebody goes to ChatGPT and says, hey, tell me about this person, everything about them, what exactly is going to come up, right? And how does that work? We'll break that down in a little bit, but at the same time, a lot of this information is compacted, right, from different types of language models that artificial intelligence use. So this is, again, all the information from that prompt that I typed into ChatGPT to find out about myself. And here's the goal for today's webinar. So today, the whole purpose, obviously, there's tons of things to talk about, to discuss, and to get involved in. But mostly what I'd like to do here is showcase the AI tools, the tools that I'm using that I can show you and tell you work, showcase the artificial intelligence in action, and then also give you a practical application in different formats that you can use immediately to optimize your business. Again, leverage this technology and gain online exposure. Now, one thing to me that I've been hearing as I started working on this book and as I started getting in touch with more people, especially people who've been in business for over a decade, the first thing that they're always asking me is why as a small business should they care about artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence, obviously there's ChatGPT, which we just mentioned, but there's also lots of different applications, whether it's to large scale manufacturing or business optimization or software, things like that, even driving cars that artificial intelligence is capable of. But how can somebody who doesn't have hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of dollars available to invest in this type of technology, how can they apply it on a micro level? How can you make your business work for you, even if you're not going to be spending much money? So a couple of things that I've also found out that a lot of small business owners, especially, me, when it comes to selling real estate, struggle with is time management. Time management is one of the biggest ways that artificial intelligence has helped us when it comes to optimizing our business. When it comes to appointment scheduling, we have a whole system in place that we just put the information in and it automatically schedules everything together with all of our clients. So for us, it saves us hours every single week when it comes to cross-referencing calendars, making sure that showings are available or contractors are available. Also, we have a chatbot. So we'll demonstrate that here in a minute, that you guys can actually text the chatbot and see what it looks like for yourself on a small level. But our chatbot allows us to respond to clients. So if somebody calls me and I'm not available, they automatically go to my voicemail. But after that phone call is done, they get a text message that comes back automatically and says, hey, apologize, I'm not available. How can I be of help? And what that does is it makes sure that I capture every single lead and make sure that no matter who it is that is talking to me, I am going to collect their information. I'm going to find out what they're calling. And then the artificial intelligence model is actually going to put it in my notes as a task for me to have to go back now and check that off. So that's how thorough we've been when it comes to making sure that I'm answering my clients. It also makes marketing a lot easier. You can schedule, you can automate, you can even these days, you can create graphics and stuff using artificial intelligence. You can plug it into things like Canva or Photoshop, and it makes the marketing a lot easier. It can also help you analyze what you're doing with your marketing and where most of your costs are going in order for you to be able to stay in line and make the most money out of your marketing budgets. It can also help you stay organized. It can create things called SOPs, standard operating procedures. A lot of us in our business, if you needed to do every single task within your business, whether it's the merchandising, the product ordering, the quality control, and you can do it all on your own because you're really, really knowledgeable and you're really, really skilled. But how do we pass that along to other people in order to scale our businesses, in order to grow better? A lot of people have bottlenecks when it comes to growing their business because they do not know how to transfer all of that knowledge and all of that information over to other people, where other people can maintain the certain standard that they have, that they believe that they're maintaining within their company. So if you use artificial intelligence, especially ChatGPT, to build out SOPs, standard operating procedures, it can break down every single part within your business to help you stay organized when it comes to growing and scaling. It can also help you increase your revenue without increasing your workload. We have, for instance, a tracker on our website that anybody who comes to visit any of our web pages, they automatically get followed with some of our ads and marketing. So like that, we can collect their name, phone numbers, and emails. Obviously, once we collect people's names, phone numbers, and emails, they're now prospects. Many people make a mistake and they think that when you get somebody's name, phone number, and email, they become a client. They're not clients, they're prospects. You still have to market to them in order to convert them as a customer. So we have our artificial intelligence chatbot go in and start engaging with them, figuring out what exactly it is that made them click on one of our forms and what they're looking for. So this is how it increases our revenue without increasing our workload. I used to have the largest team here in Miami by agent count, and then I realized that agent count isn't necessarily what makes you the most profitable. So we cleared up a little bit and we applied, these different artificial intelligence and automations into my business in order to be able to actually make more money. You want to test out what I mean by a chatbot? Text 770 to this phone number, and you'll get texted back with a form. That form will add you to our newsletter. And we put out all these different things at least once a week, every Friday, right before Shabbos. So if you want to test it out, you can text 770 to 954 799 4555. That's one of our automated phone numbers that you can text, and you'll see what it texts you back. You can also text it once it sends you that one link, and you can see the conversational skills that it has. It's taken us a long time to work on teaching and training this system how to actually be able to respond and how to predict. And also, it's very industry specific. So we build one specifically for real estate, specifically for property management. It's not as hard as it sounds, and with a little bit of dedication, you're able to build one for yourself too. If we have time, we'll cover that towards the end of this class. But yeah, test it out for yourself, 770 to 954 799 4555. So as we're starting to unpack and break down and see a little bit more how intricate artificial intelligence can be, how small language models can really help your business, I first just want to highlight what artificial intelligence is not. Okay, a lot of people are scared that AI is replacing jobs, it's replacing people. It's, you know what, maybe, but it's definitely not replacing you. Because if you're on this webinar, then you are somebody who's looking to grow your business. You're somebody who's looking to keep their best foot forward. And because of that, it's going to be very hard to replace somebody like you, because you're going to continue innovating and you're going to continue figuring out ways to stay ahead of your competition, even though people might have you believe that artificial intelligence is here to replace. It's not going to replace people like us that are blue collar, that are in the middle of the food chain. It's really not going to do that. So what we can do is we can also recognize that artificial intelligence is not just for big companies. You can literally sign up to at least 10 different artificial intelligence platforms for free. It doesn't cost you a dollar. It's really not complicated to start, because at the end of the day, especially when you're working on something like a chatbot like ChatGPT, the more you talk to it, the more it gets to know you, the more it gets to be able to learn about you. So like that, it can communicate on your level. So you really don't have to be good with technology to use any sort of artificial intelligence. Obviously, the more advanced that you get, you do need to have some sort of experience, but just to get started, you really don't need much. See, when it comes to having, like, talking to a GPT, like talking to a chat, especially something like ChatGPT, right? All you really have to do is you have to identify like a task. You have to give it something to do, and you have to be clear with that. If you can tell it what you want, right? For instance, I know that there's some mortgage brokers on here that join. What's up, Yitzi? It's good to see you. Let's say that Yitzi's building out like a follow-up campaign that he wants to email to a customer, and he wants to ask them for more documents to get his mortgage. Everybody here who's gotten a mortgage knows that we try to delay sending in information as much as possible. So let's say he's sending out that email. He can write an email to a customer, right? Let's say he knows that there's somebody else that they're shopping mortgage rates on. So he can say that, please write an email to the customer about pricing and make it shorter than what my typical email would be. Sometimes you don't even have to use all three steps. You could just use one and two. And then you send enter, and then you can refine it. You can continue giving it feedback until it has exactly what you need. Now, I grew up in Elaterra, and I don't have a high school diploma, okay? I have zero formal education. So ChatGPT for me has literally been a godsend, especially when it comes to putting together professional emails or pitching banks, or creating real estate templates for onboarding, or whatever it might be. Being able to really use something like this in a way where it's like an education without needing to have the education. I'm not saying rely on this completely, right? Don't do that, because this is what I'm saying. Artificial intelligence is not replacing humans. You need to give it something, give it the original thought. And then once you give it your thought, you can expound on it and you can refine it until you get better at just thinking on your own. right? And then you learn more how to be able to communicate with people. It can be an actual like improvement journey, a self-improvement journey and experience, right? And I'm not saying get all spiritual with it, but what I'm saying is think to yourself, if you have to remove yourself from the equation and you have to now talk to something that's going to be better, the more you invest inside of it. Continue using these simple prompts and eventually we'll figure out exactly what it is you're trying to do. You can screenshot this if you'd like, and you can come back to it. I really, really, really encourage you to test this out, maybe even right now as this webinar is going on. See what it's like, and obviously there's going to be time for questions. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat and we'll come back to them. Right now is that time, ladies and gentlemen. So if you do have any questions, you can bring them up right now. You can drop them in the chat. You can unmute yourself, and then we'll keep on going.
Hey, Jim.
Fantastic. Hey, what's up? JJ, the phone number is 954-799-4555. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. All right, cool. We're gonna keep going, right? So obviously I promised you things that you can apply to your business today and things that you can do right now, finishing up with this webinar to start improving the level and the quality of your business. So first of all, writing emails, which I just demonstrated to you before, that's a great prompt. Creating social media posts is another thing. I'm actually really curious from the people here that are in this chat and watching this right now, how many people are actually active on social media? When I say active on social media, I mean posting more than 5 times per week about your business or your life on whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, any one of those. So Mendy has a couple great questions. Mendy wants to know, do the customers not realize that they're talking with an artificial intelligence model? Well, in the beginning, yes, but at the same time, the way that these things are built is they're built to learn. So what we do is we create certain parameters and certain keywords that people learn, that the artificial intelligence learns that most people who text us run into. So whether it's mortgage or home or down payment or things like that. So once one of those trigger words are set up, the AI doesn't actually respond back to them. It encourages them to book an appointment with us because it realizes that some of these words are words that will, in my industry, are considered qualified prospects, are people that are like actually having a conversation with us. So instead of giving the people the information that they need, we pique their interest by having them schedule an appointment. So what that does, again, that whole process is automated. But what that does is it gives us an opportunity to capture the lead because sometimes people get carried away with artificial intelligence. They try to get as, complicated and cool as possible. At the end of the day, you have to remember artificial intelligence, it's just an enhancement. It's something that you have to figure out how to be able to apply in your business without just trying to have as much of a conversation as possible. So that's why we'll convert them over to appointments. Shlomo's got a question. What do we say that this is too complicated? Uh, we don't really run into those sort of issues. And the reason is because it's all about how you prompt it, right? So sometimes the AI, the way that it's coded, there's certain answers that it won't give you, but if you think a little bit out of the box and you reword it, you can usually get the answers that you need. Yitzi has a question. Besides ChatGPT information, can you give it tasks to do? Well, it's a chat model. So the idea here is that it can create certain things and it can have a conversation with you. And it can create certain images, it can generate certain ideas, it can create certain PDFs and downloadables. But your best bet with ChatGPT is to actually plug it into other things, and they're working on creating more plugins. So Canva, for instance, if you plug in ChatGPT with Canva, then what it'll do is it'll take the ideas that you're working on in ChatGPT and it'll just copy them over to Canva. And it'll create some sort of images. Again, it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of feedback. Sometimes the images that it creates are, again, it's a computer. So it just creates it based off of, a random thought or some sort of out of context. You just have to help it get refined. And the more information that you can share with it, the better. We are using Claude. Claude is a fantastic tool. It's extremely expensive, but it's a fantastic tool when it comes to following processes, adding things to organization boards, and even light level editing. It's a phenomenal tool. And happy to share invites with anybody who might need that. Writing product descriptions. So for those of you who are on Amazon, right? Amazon businesses, all you got to do is you got to copy paste the SKUs, the ASIN numbers, copy paste them into ChatGPT, and it'll regenerate something for you. Saves a lot of time when it comes to uploading. It also helps you a lot with inventory. Again, you can upload to Claude. You can upload spreadsheets. You can upload inventory reports. You can have it create for you averages and statistics. Really a phenomenal tool. Helps with customer support. Like I said, we have a chat bot that's extremely helpful. And then also on Google Maps right now, there's a new tool that's out there. It's called Google Questions. It's a Google AI. Where Google is actually answering a lot of the questions about other people's businesses on behalf of the businesses. And what they're doing is they're taking the average responses from all of the reviews and the information that's available on Google's search engine specifically, and they're using those to answer those questions. It's a whole nother class for a whole nother time, but definitely something to look out to. It obviously can help you organize information when you're building, let's say, a lending scenario, or you're trying to figure out which inventory would be the best to purchase, or you're trying to figure out what materials are going to be coming up very soon in the marketplace. It can collect for you a lot of data, and it can do a lot of those light level tasks to answer your questions. So again, it can have a conversation with you. But at the same time, it's one of those things that, you really first want to make sure that you're using the full skills that the chat model has before you start looking for other tools. It can help you manage your schedule. It can also summarize long documents. And then it can also help with hiring and job descriptions. We use that recently. We have a virtual team of about 100 people that are offshore that we always go through. We're always hiring new people. And it really helped us as well fill out, just make the whole application process shorter and more concise. And even now, it reviews all of the submissions that we get to those forms to see if they actually work. So these are some real examples that you can use in terms of writing emails. Again, you can switch it out for your own industry. So for the example, write a warm follow-up to a customer who asked about my pricing. You'd see that one's for you. Social media content, create a caption for my Instagram post about my new product. That's for Mr. California and the Amazon business. And then the business plan help, right? That's for anybody here who's actually trying to figure out what they're going to do for their business and how they're going to optimize their business and what should they do first. So you can have that conversation with the AI as well. And then also, you can use it for personal development and training, like when it comes to practicing scripts. By the way, if anybody here is in real estate, message me afterwards. We just updated our script list. I'm happy to share that with you. So when it comes to like doing all of these different types of tasks, at the end of the day, all you have to do is try. All you have to do is plug it in, type it into the model, and see what it comes up with, right? Literally, all you need in order to get started is a phone or a computer, an AI tool. I would strongly recommend, again, you start with ChatGPT because it's the most forgiving of all of the artificial intelligence models. It's the easiest one to communicate with. It's the easiest one to talk to and have a conversation with it like you're having a conversation with a friend or with somebody that you're catching up with. My favorite way to actually have a conversation with the model is to use the voice option because you can send it a voice message the same way that we all send voice messages on WhatsApp. All you got to do is press the button and record, and then it'll process all that information, and then it will give you a response. And it's a phenomenal way to, again, be able to optimize your time. Personally, for me, in terms of time optimization, I don't listen to music. I listen to audiobooks. Now I have conversations with AI. But that's really like the best way to be able to get ahead is by looking for those little places that you're not already optimizing your own personal time and then using that as an opportunity to get ahead. So all you really need is 10 minutes, honestly, because 10 minutes of working on the model will then get you excited to actually implement it and use it during the day. You don't need any sort of coding. You don't need any special apps. You don't need any equipment. What immediately changes when you start using artificial intelligence, first of all, you respond to customers faster. Our average time to response from lead submission is 42 seconds. And the reason for that is because we have an artificial intelligence that is timing 42 seconds from when the form is submitted to send that text message. And then a couple seconds later, there's a voicemail. So we respond to our customers a lot quicker, which is how we keep these numbers, even in a market right now where everybody's struggling. Your marketing looks a lot more professional. A lot of my captions are refined by artificial intelligence. And honestly, in the last couple of days, the views of my Instagram have gone up significantly. It might be because I was posting about where I come from, or it might be because I was posting about other things. But the reality is that I've picked up over 180,000 views in the last 7 days, literally just by optimizing some of my captions using artificial intelligence. Some of us, we don't have any sort of training when it comes to speaking the English language. So sometimes we use one word, but you can use a different word and it just flows better. So not being nervous to use, these artificial intelligence models to get better and to acknowledge and recognize your flaws, it actually, has made my business life a lot better. Again, you waste less time on small tasks when you just put it into the AI. You make fewer mistakes. You also feel more organized, especially when you're following a calendar. These are the biggest mistakes that beginners make. So I got you all excited right now. You're going to go test all this out. Do not do this, okay? Don't give the AI a prompt without giving it like a full thought. So you have to share your thoughts with the chat in order to be able to have a conversation. And think about it. It's called Chat GPT. You have to have a conversation in order to be able to have, and to get those responses. So first and foremost, right, help like using that prompt, right? So you can't say, help me write an email to a client. You have to say, help me write an email to a client with this sort of message working on this specific task. Like I'm trying to get a client to choose me over somebody else when I'm charging a higher rate, right? I need to sell them on my service. How do I sell them on my service? So ChatGPT can give me a breakdown how to sell them on my services. I'm better. I show up better. I'm always responsive. I'm not just here for the commission. The price isn't my price. It's the industry standard. We do things better. We sell faster. All these different things are things that the AI can help me think of when I'm stuck in that bubble and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting hit with an objection. The second thing also to be careful for is expecting perfect results in the first try. It's an artificial intelligence model. It's a computer. Okay. The first computers we had were massive. Some of y'all even remember them. They were literally these big bricks. Now we have computers everywhere we go, on our wrists, in our ears, on our glasses, in our pockets. You got to give it some time. You got to be open to having that conversation with it as you go through the process of allowing the language model to learn how you talk and how you speak. Obviously, make sure that you check the final output before you copy and paste it, right? There was a news company that hit the news, ironically, maybe a couple days ago or a week ago, where they did not remove the ChatGPT all the way on the bottom and they just copied and pasted it and put it straight and hit the news. That was kind of funny. Don't do that. Now, another thing over here, people, the first thing they want to do with artificial intelligence is they want to give it all its problems. It's like we as human beings, we have a tendency. As soon as somebody offers help, we try to offload all of our problems, all the things that we're not interested in dealing with anymore. Here's the cool thing. ChatGPT can do that for you. Okay. But what you have to do is you have to explain to it how you got there, right? We are running into an issue because we have too much business, right? Our sales pipeline process or our intake process is outdated or we don't have one, right? Suggest for me the best way to do client intake when it comes to XYZ, right? There are different ways that you can use it, but again, you have to have a conversation with it. You can't just come to it with problems and expect it to solve your problems. At the end of the day, it's a program, right? It's like a big server. So you have to be very mindful of what it is that you're sharing and what it is that you're expecting in return. You don't need to know everything about how it works or what it's going to do. You literally, all you got to do is log in. You can even sign in with your Gmail, so you don't have to create a whole new account and you can start the process. Are there any questions? Okay, so Yitzi has a phenomenal question. He wants to know, how do we automate the text response to an incoming lead? Which AI? How do you connect the different systems? The general answer is we custom built and coded a custom relationship management system to handle all of our leads. We have just over 1.2 million contacts, name, phone numbers, and emails inside of our database, which I've collected through lead generation over the last 5 years. So it's a very, very well curated data tape, or should I say data box. And because of that, what we figured out is that the best way for us to maintain relationships with our clients are by keeping them, like by staying top of mind, by keeping them engaged. The best way to keep our clients engaged is by offering information, not requesting a sale. So being in the industry that we're in, every single day, there's new news, new information, new things to share with them. So we have everybody filtered out on different pipelines, and based off of their responses or their lack of response, we move them over to different pipelines. So we basically built out all of the programming based off of our needs. And then we use Go High Level, which is the CRM that everything is white labeled off of. And we connected Go High Level as an aggregator. You can basically plug in a bunch of different programs into one place. And that's where we're running. I call that my mothership. That's like my pride and joy. So that's that's how we're running all of our marketing. It's all through that one place. I'm happy to go deeper on that with you after this. Are there any other questions, not like specific to real estate or how I run my business, just so I can get other answers? I have no problem breaking down how I run my business. I just want to be respectful and mindful to everybody else who's here to learn more about artificial intelligence. So here's how to get AI to give you great results. Okay, this is how you're gonna like work it. And this is basically just a summary of everything that we mentioned before, right? Tell it what you want to do. I want to create a standard operating procedure for intake of merchandise from when it comes into my office until it leaves to the Amazon warehouse. So now that you do that, right, you can say, okay, and what I want you to know is that I have 3 employees. We're moving about 1,000 pieces of merchandise every day. We have to repack it. The repackaging takes 4 steps. Then we have to put the QR code on. Then we have to palletize it. You can give it all that information. And then once you give it that information, you can tell it how you want it to sound, right? Sound like HR creating a operations manual. Sound like an employee, right? You're talking to an employee. Who do you want to talk to? Do you want to keep it high level? Do you want to keep it low level? Do you want to keep it very intricate? Do you want to keep it one sentence? You can tell it exactly the length of what you want it to do. And then you can give it an example to copy. So something again like this. Write a short, friendly text message to a customer who missed their appointment today. Happens to us in real estate all the time. Apologize politely, offer to reschedule, and make it sound warm and approachable like a small local business. Keep it under 50 words. So the GPT will respond back with something and says, hi, all right, I apologize that we weren't able to get together today. I'm available this time and this time. Let me know which time works best. And it'll spit that out for you, right? So for those of y'all who are getting more into the space where you have to actively communicate with people, you can apply that directly in this sort of format. What AI platforms should you actually pay to subscribe? That's a great question. We have subscriptions to ChatGPT, to Claude, to like 4 other ones that we're using more for like automations and stuff. And then I also use Suno for sound, and I use CapCut, and I use Canva. There's a lot of we use also Google Gemini, but these are things nano banana. These are things that I can summarize at the end and give anybody a list of what they want. And then again, this is the 10-minute routine. Okay, this is the routine that I'd like you to implement if you're brand new to artificial intelligence, or you're brand new to using these types of models and you've really never done it before. You just created an account. Literally just do one of these things, okay? And it'll get you more confident in what you're doing. Write one email with artificial intelligence. Matter of fact, you don't even have to use ChatGPT. Inside of Google, you have something called Google Gemini. So for those of you who use Gmail and all the like G Suite and all that stuff, Gemini is also really, 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 really powerful. So you can just go in there and say, hey, I'm writing an email to this person. And the cool thing is that once you start the thread, Gemini collects information about the people that you're actually emailing with, so it can give you a response that's more suited to their personality. Not to go completely off the rails over here, but I'm sure that most of y'all are familiar with the 16 personality types, namely the DISC profile. And in our business, we've actually created different sales pitches for each different personality type because we're in such a direct person-to-person business. So being able to have artificial intelligence write emails for specific types of personalities makes it a lot easier for us to be able to communicate with those people without having to actually think as if they'd be highly analytical, or if they'd be very heavy drivers, or whatever the case may be. So it makes things a lot easier once you're able, again, thinking a little bit out of the box in terms of what's possible, because we all have the ways that we're used to running our business right now. But with the power and the opportunities that we have with artificial intelligence, you can really reshape the scale, and you can double, triple up your business in a very short amount of time, so long as you take it seriously. This is why I say businesses are only as strong as the business owners. The more strong and steadfast and confident you are in yourself and your own skills and abilities, the better your business will be. And artificial intelligence is a great way to be able to sidestep a lot of the self-doubt and have a computer give you the reassurance that what you're doing is correct using factual data. That's exactly what artificial intelligence is. So you can either write an email with artificial intelligence, you can create a post, or you can create an ad, right? You can also do that on Meta. Facebook also has an artificial intelligence. So you can literally go to the Facebook artificial intelligence. You could say, hey, I'm feeling great today. I want to send good vibes out to the universe. Write me a post and tell me what to post. And Facebook will say, hey, if you're reading this post, I'm wishing you a great day. And then you just copy and paste that straight into the post. And it's a phenomenal way to build your engagement online because people see you as a positive person. You can ask AI a business question, right? Again, if you're new to your business, you're trying to figure out what's going on. If you're struggling with tasks, if you feel like a lot of the tasks that you're doing are not generating the dollars per hour that you know your hourly value is, and you're stuck in a lot of admin stuff, plug it all into ChatGPT and allow ChatGPT to organize it for you. You can also use Claude for this. Phenomenal tools to be able to keep yourself together. I like to say that if I had 30 hours in a day, I'd use 35 of them. So because of that, what I've done is I've really systemized my business and my day down to where my calendar is color coded. And I've done that all with the assistance of AI, and I'm able to be extremely productive. I take a lot of the content that we write. So what we do is we batch write content in our company. A lot of our emails, newsletters, blog posts, stuff like that, everything's batch written. So what we'll do is I'll take a post when I'm not 100% sure about it. Everyone who does marketing has been at a point where they're not 100% sure about what it is that they're about to publish. I copy paste it into AI and I just ask it for some help. And then I refine it again and then I'm good to go. In 30 days, your skills work, bro. Naturally, I guarantee it. If you do not feel like you're getting better at what you're doing, call me and I'll tell you what you're doing wrong because there's absolutely no way that you cannot improve in 30 days in this business. Like it's in any business using artificial intelligence. The mindset that you have to have going into this, okay? And a lot of us, we're born and raised in a way where we just have to accept things for how they are. We were not really encouraged to challenge the norm or the status quo. So with this, it becomes a little harder because it's very hard for people to see other opportunities and think a little bit out of the box when it comes to applying these things into their day to day. So I really want to encourage you to be curious and try different things, right? Literally ask it questions. It could completely, come back with something you weren't anticipating, or it might just uncover your next breakthrough. You do not know until you try. You can keep asking the artificial intelligence to do things. You can keep asking it to refine it. But when you refine it again, remember, you give it feedback. I don't like this. I like this. Talk more like this. Talk more like that. Then you can keep improving. Again, AI is a tool. And the more that you use it, the more powerful it becomes because that's the way tools work. Now, this is my promise to you. Okay. Again, if you follow this approach from the way I'm doing it in any sort of way, you're going to save time, make more money, look more professional, feel more in control of your business, reduce stress, and grow faster than your competitors. That's a guarantee. It's a guarantee because this is what I'm doing and this is how I grow. So anybody who knows me, that follows me, first of all, thank you for your support. And second of all, you see the trajectory that I'm on and I'm doing it using these types of tools. If you don't know me and you don't follow me, Google me, find me, follow me, because what we're doing here is awesome. Again, AI is in the future, okay? It's the present. It won't take over your job. It will enhance your business. And again, it's not a tool. It's not just any random tool, okay? It's not something that you can just use whenever you want it. It's a tool that small business owners use and they need to use every single day, again, in order to enhance operations and stay ahead, in order to get better at what you're doing, not replace what you're doing, but in order to get better and continue leveling up. Thank you very much. I really appreciate having the opportunity here to present. I'm going to answer some questions right over here that are in the chat. So those of you who type some questions, don't worry, we'll stick around. And again, any questions that come up, feel free to put them here. We're going to spend the next couple minutes just with those answers. The QR code over here is a link to my little digital business card landing page. Feel free to follow, connect, text. Happy to be in touch and help whoever I can in any way that is possible. So Shaya has a statement over here that he believes that live show selling on platforms and TikTok and whatnot is where sales will grow. How can I use AI? And which one should try to create 10-second videos of my product that are engaging and look real? I have a model pictures. My product is ladies' intimates. Dude, I used to sell sex toys. I love this so much. Okay, sorry. I don't know if we're allowed to have this conversation right here on this webinar. I apologize. Probably not the place to do this. But I'm like super happy.
Go ahead. I'm fine. It's fine.
All right, cool. Yeah, Rabbi, we good? All right, Rabbi, we good. Perfect. So, what I did, and the easiest way to do this, first of all, you have CapCut. CapCut's a phenomenal way to create videos from photos.
What's it called?
CapCut. It's an editing tool. I have actually one of my clients is the number 2 in fragrance on Whatnot. They have like 4 warehouses here, and a lot of what we've been doing is we've been creating and connecting to the live streams. We've been connecting chatbots and engaging people in conversation, and then getting the people over to websites to buy, offering different offers. live while you're there. Hey, if you didn't get this one, go over here. Here's a code. Use this code. Do this again. It's more about with live sales. What's most important is getting people to take action right away here in the moment. You don't have the time to convert them. So what you have to do is you have to have something that will distract them from the thing that they didn't get into something else that will give them. It's an endorphin trick that you're playing with them in their brain. I'm not going to give you, think about your kids, right? I'm not going to give you a lollipop right now, but I'll give you a lollipop if you say Shema and do all the other things, right? And you go to sleep and you can have it in the morning. Like it's just more, there's a lot less excitement in the have it in the morning. They want to have it now. So instead of giving them a lollipop now, you can give them a wafer now and they'll be okay with that. Because again, it's all about the exchange of value in the moment to the people that you're talking to. I would also run ads and I would target people that are searching other websites. So, we had plus size women's intimates. We used to buy those from big closeouts in China. What we would do is we would target people who were going to specific websites. We did that through Facebook Pixel, Google retargeting, where people who would search in those things, they'd be retargeted back with our ads. They would go onto the website. If they didn't check out right away, they got an email with a 15% off coupon. We were still at like 90% margin, so it made a lot of sense. And again, we did a lot of that with automation. Live cart follow-up, especially if you have your own website or you're selling on apps, is a phenomenal way to go. Hopefully that answers your question. If not, just Google my name. You'll grab my cell phone number, shoot me a text message, and we'll schedule a time to talk. It'd be an absolute pleasure to help you figure out and put a strategy together, go a little deeper on that. Okay, next one. How do you break down people by personality type? How do you determine their type? It's a phenomenal question. The first thing I would say is I would have you Google the DISC personality assessment, and I would encourage you to take one on your own. You can get one for free on Tony Robbins' website if you want to buy the full breakdown of the report. It actually is very interesting. We do those reports on a full scale for every single person that we hire because it helps us understand what motivates them. It helps us understand where they can be the best and apply and what their skills are to be applied into our business. And then it also helps us in the future when it comes to growing and scaling. We can predict how certain people will react to change within our organization, which is a phenomenal tool. So once you figure out the DISC assessment, again, that's the summary of the 16 different personality types. Every person is one of those 16 different personality types. It's summarized down into the DISC, D-I-S-C, high driver, people who are very inquisitive, people who are very slow to make decisions, and then people who just have questions about literally everything. So you have to learn how to sell to each one of those people and how to communicate with each one of those people. Some of you people here those are the 4 personality types, right? So everybody has a different way of processing information. So being in this direct form of sales that I'm in, it's extremely important for me to be able to determine that right away, which is why one of my favorite things to do is I set the tone and I say, hey, my goal to accomplish is X, kind of like I just did for this webinar. I had everybody's attention when I told you what my goal was. And then slowly people started losing attention as they already got what they came for. But when you set that precedent from the beginning, it automatically gives you the opportunity to uncover who you're working with. Because if you say, hey, we're here to get X done, what questions did you have for me before we move forward? Based off of their questions, you'll be able to see what their personality type is. Nahami has a great question. Does social media recognize when you're using AI and penalize you for it? Someone was saying that Google penalizes for AI-generated content. You guys want the real scoop? I'll give you the real scoop. This is how you do it, okay? What you do is you use there's 2 things over here. First of all, for me, whenever I see script that's written out and has like a double hyphen in the middle of it, I automatically know it's artificial intelligence and it bugs me because it means that those are the people that are scared about getting replaced by AI because they're literally using AI as a replacement of themselves. So sometimes like people, when they see negative in you, it's because of the negative that they have in themselves. That's this happening in real time. So whenever I see that happen, I automatically think to myself and I go, okay, how can I be better than that person? And the way you can be better by that person is you use the AI again to take an idea, right? I want to promote this house that I'm selling that's been on the market for 82 days, right? How do I make it sound good? I then go to the AI and I say, hey, this is the scenario. What would you do in my situation? It then would give me its response. What I then do is I copy and paste that. I put it into a Google Doc and I then make it sound more personal, more Joe Brikman style. Then I copy that back into the AI, again, because I'm still training the language model. I'm still training it how it works. I copy that back into the AI, and I tell the AI, hey, this is how my brain processes the information. Keep that noted for the future. And then it starts taking notes, and it learns. So if you're going to spend $20 or $30 on artificial intelligence, the first place you should go is ChatGPT. Because as soon as you start paying for it, it starts remembering everything you're teaching it. And then it can really start becoming a clone of yourself. So it's not going to be a replacement, it's going to be an enhancement, right? Nobody wants the side without the steak. You want the steak and the side. And guess what? If the steak comes first and the side comes a little bit later, sometimes you don't even want the side anymore because you already had the steak. So you really just need to keep the focus on what's the most important. And then it's not considered artificially generated content, then you shouldn't have a problem. I don't have a problem. We get about 250,000 views every couple weeks. Next question, is there a recording where you can watch this again? Yes, look out to the follow-up email at the end, and they will tell you where you can grab that. Rabbi's doing a great job of making sure it's recorded. What would I recommend as a starting cheap option for AI to get a business idea off the ground? My dear friend, cheap and business idea off the ground do not go hand in hand, okay? There is no such a thing as cheap. Any cheap thing that you get will cost you a lot of money in the future. I've been in business over a decade. I'm telling you that right now. I've been in 7 industries. Like, do not do that, okay? You first need to understand how you're going to have artificial intelligence help you grow your business. What are the bottlenecks that you have in this business idea that artificial intelligence can help you? Once you figure out what it is that artificial intelligence can help you, you can then ask the artificial intelligence how it can be of best help to you. Then, based off of that, you can choose where you're going to spend your money. Or you can give me $50,000 every month and I'll help you grow your business, right? But you get what I'm saying, right? It's really a matter of like how much money you want to spend. Because if you just want to spend $50 to feel good about spending money on growing your business, then don't do it. But if you're really committed to the idea, then rework your business plan. And get rid of the word cheap. It doesn't exist. It's not going to help you, really. How can we reach out to me and be in touch after this class? Google my name. I'm all over Google. My phone number that's there, you can text me. You can use this QR code right over here. You can DM me. Text message is the best because it comes directly to me. Everything else goes to assistants. So text me directly. Thank you, Shai. It's an absolute pleasure. Does ChatGPT respond to user text? Or is there a better tool for that? ChatGPT is a language model. So ChatGPT is something that you can have a conversation with. It can provide you certain information. It can't actually handle tasks. The difference between artificial intelligence and running automations is that automations are things that you set up once and you forget them, and they just work based off of a trigger. So something happens. Somebody puts their name, phone number, and email into your website, and an automated email goes out. The automation cannot decide if that person was Donald Trump or if that person was Yitzi Bursawankin, right? The artificial intelligence doesn't know that. It just knows that we got a name, we got a phone number, we got an email. This is what we do. That's how automations work. An artificially intelligent program or platform uses its intelligence to determine and to decide what the message is going to be. If somebody sends us a text message and says, hey, you guys are BS, it's not going to say thank you very much. It's going to say we appreciate your opinion and we've noted it for the future, right? It's a very big difference in terms of how those responses are going to go. That's a phenomenal question, though. Can I break down which AI tools are best for which use cases? For example, what's best for marketing content? What's best for workflow automation? What's best for real estate tasks like lead generation or follow-up, and what's best for operations? A simple breakdown will really help you understand where to start. What industry are you in? Because what I'll tell you is that AI is not going to replace your business, right? It's not going to make all of you're not going to wake up tomorrow and say, oh my God, my entire business is so much better because I implemented AI. Like, as much as that's going to be the reality over the course of time, it's a compound effect. So you have to get good at one thing as the operator. You have to then apply that one thing to your business. You then have to apply that one thing consistently. And then as you apply that one thing consistently to your business, you can then add on something else that you can also be consistent at the same time. So you can't do one thing and then not do something else. A lot of business owners, and I get it, a lot of the questions here are from small business owners. It's exactly who this is directed to. Rabbi, great job in building your audience. And that being said, right, we're all thinking, how can I offload the things that I dread doing? How can I get rid of the things that I absolutely hate doing from my business with AI? I would like to encourage you to fall in love with the things that you do not like doing. Because I guarantee you that the things that you do not like doing are the things that will make you the most return on your investment. For me, when I first got on the phone, I learned how to sell in person, like directly, like I was on the beach, right? Homeless, selling on the beach. And then I learned how to sell over the phone. And then I learned how to sell door to door. And each one of these types of sales are different. And then, we sold online. We were number 2, number 3, number 4. We've been all up in the top charts pretty much in every industry. And the way that we got there was by looking for the holes that there were in the market. What are the things that people hate doing in real estate? People hate cold calling. People hate cold calling. So what did I do? I made it my daily mission. Every single morning from 8 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm calling. And you know what? If I'm already calling, then all the people who didn't answer me, they're going to get called by my robot. And then on top of them getting called by my robot, they're also going to get called by somebody in my office. And then the people from yesterday are going to get called from somebody else in my office. So I built my whole business, my main strategy, where I get probably about, yeah, I'd say about 40% of my business. 40% of my business comes from social media. 40% of my business comes from cold prospecting. And the other 20% comes from referral and networking, things like that, right? So where are you getting that percentage? I'm getting that percentage from diving deep into the things that other people in my industry don't do. If it's insurance, it's calling the renewals. If it's in roofing, it's calling the old leads. If it's on Amazon, it's calling vendors. If it's in mortgages, it's calling people who were previously pre-approved but never ended up closing. Sometimes it's a tough conversation. Hey, they ended up buying a house 6 months ago, but you didn't follow up with them, so you lost it, right? Sometimes you lost the buy box at Amazon. So it's all these different things that you first need to process from a business level, right? Getting good at artificial intelligence is so much more than just learning how to use an AI tool. It's about getting good with you. It's about figuring out what it is that you are going to build, right? This just got so much deeper than just an AI class, right? Like it's so much more than just like plugging into a program. It's getting clarity and direction in terms of where you want to go and where you see yourself in the future, and then using something as powerful as an automated program to now automate those things that are the hardest things that are, that are holding you back from getting to where you got to go. So I don't like writing content, but I'm really good at writing content. So what I do is I record voice memos and then I upload it. I get it transcribed. And then once I get it transcribed, I have the AI decide what to post when. Every single thing that's on my page is 100% written from my heart. But some wording here and some wording there is switched out just because I'm an Nick and I don't have a high school diploma. So I don't have a choice. I have to use that. And I'm proud of that. That is where that is what makes me so proud of what I'm doing. It's the fact that I'm not supposed to, but I can. So instead of figuring out, right, like what it is that you can avoid, and thank you for bringing up this question and putting yourself out there. And, because at the end of the day, I feel like this is a question that a lot of people are struggling with. They see all these different tools, all these different options, all these different opportunities, and they don't know where to start. So the best place to start is whatever it is that you're going to be consistent with. So instead of focusing on marketing, again, if your marketing right now isn't anything, and you now want to start up a robust 90-day agency level campaign, you can't just start right now today because you're going to burn out in 3 days, right? If you haven't been cold calling, you haven't been prospecting, you can't just start cold calling 300 people a day. If you have maybe merchandise that's been sitting around that you never cleared out, maybe you have a lot of it, right? Maybe you have to call some people and just sell it off at a loss. Maybe you just have to get rid of it. That's the type of cleaning you have to do before you can plan where you're going, because the computer can give you the plan. The automations can work. But if once the appointment is set, there's nobody there to take the appointment, then what's the point? I really appreciate that, man. Most of the people that we hire overseas, unless you're a licensed real estate agent in the state of Florida, we have a really, really good thing going with the modern day angels. So most of what we do now is overseas. But I'm happy to see if there's somebody local that maybe I can place you with. I really respect that forwardness right there. That kid's going to go far. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, if there are no more questions, and if we are done over here, then it would be my absolute pleasure, again, for any one of you to connect with me. Find me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, pretty much anywhere else. We out here doing what we do. And if there's anything that I can do to be of help to you in any way, shape, or form, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you very much for coming, and I hope you found this beneficial.
Well, I certainly learned a lot, and I want to thank you again, Joe, for this great presentation. I see from the enthusiasm of the crowd that it looks like everyone appreciated it very much. And this is part of an ongoing series with CHYE, Crown Heights Young Entrepreneurs, led by Yeshua Wordy, and Crown Heights Jewish Community Council. And we're here to help you grow your business also. So please don't hesitate. And as some of you may know, we have a business plan expert, Yehuda Berg, who works in CHYE, who helps people create a business plan to do the next step. He's not artificial intelligence, he's real intelligence. And he can also help with many other aspects of business. And we also are doing a series of classes like this. So please feel free to stay in touch and follow up on the next opportunities as they come. And thank you again. This was really good. Yes, thank you. A lot of it wasn't just the AI, as you said. It was more about the coaching and the sense of you can do it, which you can.
A good yom tov, everybody. We'll see you soon.
All right.